Limited government is one of the hallmarks of the Constitution of the United States. Checks and balances are also essential to this same Constitution that ultimately governs our nation. And these provisions, limited government and checks and balances, are wise. The founders of our country were wise because they understood that human beings, subject to sin, very quickly become tyrants when given too much power. And so these same founders of our country erected checks and balances to make sure that no one branch of the government assumed too much power. This is ingrained in our American spirit, even our American psyche. However, this evening, we honor a king whose authority, whose claim over us is limitless. We honor Christ the King, against whom there can be no check and no balance, and who came into this world to invite us to acclaim Him as our ultimate ruler, our ultimate master, the one who sets us free. Again, if we think of our understanding of freedom in light of our Constitution, we frame our freedom as those parts of our lives that the government does not touch, does not have a say over. And again, this is right and just with worldly authority. However, with Jesus, we are only free to the extent that we allow Him to rule us. Put negatively, those areas of our lives that we withhold from His governance are the same areas of our lives where we experience the greatest slavery and sadness and bondage. True and lasting freedom is found in subjecting ourselves to this King, unlike any other king the world has known. Earthly kings, earthly governments and rulers guard their power jealously. Earthly rulers send other people to die for them. Not so with Jesus. Jesus is the only king that lays down His life for His people, even the people who reject Him, the people who refuse Him as their king. Worldly kings who are rejected often go to great lengths to punish those who do not acclaim them as rulers. Jesus forgives them, forgives us. Earthly kings guard their thrones. Only they can sit on them. If you go to Westminster Cathedral, or Westminster Abbey in England, or Buckingham Palace, you cannot sit on King Charles' throne. Guards will tackle you. But Jesus opens his throne to you and to me. His palace, heaven itself, its doors are open to anyone who desires to come in and rest with him. Tonight's celebration invites us to ask whether we have really and truly accepted Jesus as our King. We're invited to do an examination of our hearts and ask ourselves, have we put limits on Jesus' rule over us? Is there a spiritual part of our life that we hand over to him, but refuse other parts? The way we conduct our business, the way we live our personal lives, our recreations? Are there checks and balances that we have erected against him? Do we say to ourselves, I will follow Jesus, but only to the extent that public opinion says it's a good idea? The surest sign we have not handed our entire hearts, our entire lives over to the rule of Jesus is when we experience distress, turbulence, and a lack of peace. The fruit and the surest sign of Jesus' rule is peace. When we hand everything over to him, we experience the peace of his kingdom, his rule within us. And when we hold things back, that is when we experience anxiety, worry, sadness. Jesus, on the cross, laid everything down, gave everything up for us. No other ruler in the history of humanity can make that claim. And because of this, we owe Jesus everything, every part of our lives, our hearts, our minds, our memories, our strength. He desires to be enthroned in your heart, and he comes to you yet again under the appearance of bread and wine in the Eucharist. Let him reign in you. Let him rule you. Let him show you his endless peace.